Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Mo Asari, the MPK student from the University of Toronto, and today I'm going over a movement at-home program for older adults. So it's an intervention to increase participation in home-based exercises for longevity for older adults. So before diving into the full program, I do want to talk about the vision and some background information on this intervention and a case study that I've run into. So personally, I've been living with an older adult, my grandfather, who's struggled to exercise alone. Basically, his personal motivation's gone down to create movement, and he's 90 plus years old. So over the last decade, I've seen kind of his exercise amounts go down, but he does enjoy exercising and moving in social settings and with other people, but he often forgets what to do or how to move in effective ways. So his physical literacy is not quite there. He needs prompting to move and having fun challenging himself in a safe manner. And this is what we're going to talk about in terms of family involvement as well, as he doesn't necessarily only live with myself. He travels and lives with other family members throughout Ontario, so his environment changes from week to week. So this can also play a role in his movement capacity and his ability to understand exercise. So the program in general is based on increasing overall at-home based exercise with options that require basically minimal equipment, and increasing his social motivation in terms of with the family setting. This can also be done in retirement homes as well. The principles are to teach key features without overcomplicating the process, and it's going to be kinesiology led. Giving the older adults an understanding of body awareness while having them move in a safe manner, this is important. And we're going to talk about having fun while doing exercises. Fun's definitely been missing for a lot of exercise programs, especially when it comes to older adults. Here you can see my grandfather passing a soccer ball back and forth, something he did in his younger days, and we try to simulate that still even at this age now with some modifications. You can see him holding the staircase just for a little bit of balance. So when it comes to program design, the key is to identify what are the main needs and tasks that the older adult will be achieving throughout the day, so his activities of daily living, and then having a kinesiology-based intervention. So we want to look at assessing his movement qualities on the spot in terms of his general movement patterns, pushing, pulling, planking, lunging, bending, squatting, things that he might be doing throughout the day, and seeing where the opportunities are. Being able to coach for key features and cueing is important. Here you can see on the picture on the left a lot of spinal flexion and a basic hip flexion exercise with support on a table where he's just kind of holding himself upright with his body posture. And you can see the picture on the right with just some simple cueing done. He's much more in a neutral spine position. So home-based activity, we know that balance, walking, stair climbing, aerobic conditioning, these are top considerations. Exercises that can be done with the family are going to encourage the older adult to keep on going. So I had my grandfather retrieve something from the basement and then deliver it upstairs to my mother as just a task or a challenge for him. And you can see that he moves with using some assistance on the stairs. But again, just being able to go up and down the stairs using daily volume of stair climbing, that's what's going to improve his overall functional strength and or at least maintain it. And family and caregivers play an active role in motivating the older adults. So here I am just giving him some instruction on what to do, where to go, and how many times he'll be doing that. Fun, again, I talked about it. It's often neglected and so important for older adults to experience similar to children. We want to find movements that challenge the older adult and make them appropriate for the person. So physically and mentally challenging, adding in tools, things like pylons, balls, things to get them moving in a way that they know how. Like I said, I adopted the background information that I knew about my grandfather in this picture here, showing single-legged taps onto a basketball. He used to have assistance while holding the stairs, but now he's progressed to doing freestanding. So the reach of the program. So it is going to be kinesiology led, and it's going to be at-home based programming initially to all participants. This can be done for multiple participants or in a retirement home. And the target population can be a larger senior population if we're using different social platforms. Things like Skype, Facebook Live, Instagram Live will allow for more discussions and exercise design considerations, along with giving feedback to older adults on how they move. So locally to start, I want to see that the program can be done in person with MPK student presence, and then eventually expanded with networking and referrals to other facilities. What the older adult remembers in one important session, in one single session, is the most important thing when it comes to efficacy. So in order to see, is his movement actually increasing, I want to see that in one session he can at least retain one or two things in regards to his movement. Memory loss, medication, other factors of his perception basically alter his ability to maintain routine or sometimes adhere to exercise. So I always prioritize moving over not moving and monitoring the amount of movement that the older adult has, in this case my grandfather, and seeing how that changes day to day. Here he is doing an exercise using support from a chair for balance, where he's doing calf raises. Caregivers and guardians also become more comfortable around the house seeing the older adult exercise, and this is great for everyone as it motivates everyone to exercise. Now it's adoption. Obviously kinesiology coming to an at-home session is going to come at a cost, and I think cost is going to play the biggest role in its adoption. But maintenance of the program becomes easier once the family is involved in giving the cueing and understanding its overall influence. And this is done in a positive manner. So using social media and technological platforms to push testimonials, that'd be a good way for at-home exercise to be adopted. And the space requirements are minimal. So in terms of its influence, I think it can be done on a larger level, especially within the province or even on a global scale, if the understanding of the program is there and the whole family is involved. When it comes to implementation, definitely, again, we talked about having less cues, being less confusing basically for the older adult. We want to make it super simple to be able to do the at-home based exercises, know what clear homework routines are, and if it deviates slightly, no problem. The goal is to create movement and have the whole family involved in giving the most basic of cues. I have seen constant discussion sometimes and complicated scenarios where we give intrinsic cues or a lot of extrinsic cues to the client and or older adult, and they just get bored or not really interested in doing the movement anymore. So we want to prioritize movement quality, but through basic cues, and I think its implementation will revolve around how well we can identify the key features and cue them properly within the family. The maintenance becomes a follow-up from the kinesiologist, and new exercises are presented at home to basically change the impact and long-term programming. So we want to give independence to families to help their older adults move and identify new ways to have fun and explore basically exercise on a whole. This is great for introducing familial bonding, physical, mental, and psychosocial support for older adults. It's a massive opportunity to promote longevity, higher quality of life, and an increased participation in events around the home. So overall movement capacity is increased for the older adults, and this is just the case study evidence that shows that movement matters and its effect on the entire household. Thanks for taking the time to listen to me, and I look forward to sharing with you more videos. Take care.